What doesn't kill you makes you stronger to supersize and grow your business. Well, does it? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and for our idiom today, we're talking about the idiom, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. This one's attributed to Friedrich Nietzsche. The philosopher in 1888 said this, and it's been picked up and used and shared as a way to encourage resilience in us as human beings for decades now. And for some people, yes, it absolutely does do that. For me personally, I can attest to the fact that I had a sudden cardiac arrest in 2010 and was frozen and in a coma and things. Coming out of that event, which was like not a positive or happy event, it made me a lot stronger. But it only made me stronger because I made a conscious choice that I was going to figure out what had caused me to have that event, that physical event, and I was going to massively change my life so that it wouldn't recur and I wouldn't have that challenge again, because I didn't want to ever have to go through it again until I'm done here on planet Earth. So for some people, when we have a significant emotional event, when we have a trauma or a death in the family or a near-death experience ourselves or a death experience ourselves, it does make us stronger. We decide that we're going to live our lives on our own terms. We be, unapologetically ourselves, and we move forward in our life. I'm a totally different person than I was in 2010. In 2010, and I understand now what led up to that event. Never would have thought it would have happened to me, but it did. So what was I going to do about it? How was I going to change the way I was responding to different things that were happening in my life at that time? I also figured out how much my little red wagon could hold. My dad used to always tell us that we were putting too much stuff in his little red wagon sometimes, and he was absolutely right. And I found out that if you put too much stuff in your little red wagon, if you're taking on too many things in too many areas for you, it can cause something to break, and something that often isn't fixable. I mean, most people don't survive a sudden cardiac arrest, so we don't want to get to that point ever in our lives. So there's scientific studies now that prove that it isn't true that we get used to trauma and that trauma causes everyone to become more resilient. For a lot of people, and I would say the vast majority of people, trauma and drama and terrible things happening to them actually destroy their life, and they're never the same. They don't figure out how to be resilient. Now, when it comes to building and growing and supersizing our businesses and having a business in the first place, you have to figure out how to be resilient, because stuff's going to fly at you from all different directions. If not every day, pretty much every week and every year for sure. Look at the pandemic. How many people were chugging along, running their businesses, and along came COVID-19 and shut their business down. And for some people, that caused them to pivot and be resilient and figure out what they were going to do during a time that they could have never even imagined. I know I could never even have imagined the pandemic, and maybe that's naive on my part and I should have known, but I didn't. But I did know that I needed to pivot and make some changes if I was going to make it through the pandemic virtually unscathed. And I'm happy to say I did that. Even though I, like millions and billions of other people, got COVID, I'm still here to talk about it. So what are some ways that you build resilience, deal with the challenges and the setbacks and the obstacles that are inevitable as you're growing and building and supersizing your business? Share those in the comments below. And I will, of course, be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how might you use it to build and grow and supersize your business? Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you tomorrow.